Every Minecraft player wants the dragon egg to hatch. But what if I told you it already has? I'm talking about the Endermite. This tiny bug is actually the single most important clue to a dimension you've never seen. It's not from the overworld, it's not from the end, and its true identity? Well, let's just say the Ender Dragon isn't the only dragon in Minecraft. It's just the only one that grew up. Okay, let's look at the facts. The Endermite is a complete anomaly. You just didn't notice because you were too busy killing it. For years we've looked at this thing as nothing more than a nuisance. It's the smallest mob in the game, useless and completely random. You throw a pearl and there is a 1 in 20 chance this little guy pops out. I know exactly what you're thinking. It's purple, it spawns from an ender pearl, it has ender in its name, obviously it's an end mob. But no, Mojang's own developers have explicitly stated that Endermites do not come from the end. They come from somewhere else entirely, somewhere they call the in-between dimension. You see, teleportation in Minecraft isn't just magic. When you throw that pearl, you are physically ripping a hole in reality, traveling through a tunnel, a hidden dimension, and getting shot out the other side. The devs confirmed that Endermen do the exact same thing. To teleport, they take a shortcut through this weird, invisible plane of existence. And this is exactly where the Endermites live. This in-between isn't empty void space. It is a living, breathing ecosystem containing a bunch of bad stuff. When you travel through it, there is a chance you accidentally snag something. That is what an Endermite is. It's a hitchhiker. Mojang originally planned to lean into the spooky mystery dimension, but they pivoted to end cities instead, leaving the in-between as a massive, unfinished loose end. But we can still see the scars of this abandoned plan. Specifically, we have to talk about Dinnerbone. Years ago, he mentioned an ultimate plan for the Endermites that directly involved the dragon egg. But just like the in-between dimension, it was scrapped. But why would a developer link a tiny, useless bug to one of the rarest items in the game? It's because they are connected biologically. By expanding the in-between dimension, they were going to reveal the true nature of the Endermite and the dragon egg's relationship. And I won't lie, once you line up the evidence, it leads to one conclusion. The Endermite and the Ender Dragon are the same creature. One is the infant, the other is the adult. We are essentially reverse engineering the logic of the universe here to prove this, and that's why I'd like to thank Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Because honestly, if I had paid attention to their scientific thinking course earlier, I probably would have realized this connection years ago. I've been using their quadratics courses on my phone, and it feels less like studying and more like unlocking new skills. You're building the intuition to spot patterns others miss. Sort of like realizing a bug is actually a baby dragon. Brilliant actually doubled the size of their content library in 2025. They've added new personalized practice sets and end-of-level reviews that adapt to your pace. So you're always challenged and never bored. So, to learn for absolutely free on Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/LiamVZ, spelled LIAMVZ. Scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description. And even better, if you use my link, you'll get 20% off an annual premium subscription. So, thank you, Brilliant. Okay, let's look at the hard evidence. First, we need to prove this in-between place is real. We know for a fact it is not the end dimension. If you go to the end and throw a pearl, Endermites can still spawn, meaning that even when you are in the end, you still have to travel through the in-between to teleport. So, what do we know about this mysterious dimension where these things live? Well, we know Endermen travel through this dimension every time they teleport, and we know that this dimension is infested with Endermites. And Endermen? They will literally attack Endermites on sight. I don't just mean they get annoyed, I mean they get aggressive. There are only two mobs in the entire game that Endermen will naturally attack: the Ender Dragon and the Endermites. You may think the Enderman and the dragon are on the same team. but Mojang has confirmed they are enemies. They scream at the dragon, just like they scream at the Endermite. Why? Because they are the same species. The Endermen know that Endermites are the young of the tyrant controlling their dimension. When an Enderman sees a mite, it isn't fighting a bug, it's trying to kill a dragon before it has the chance to grow up. But the evidence goes deeper than just mob behavior. Look at the particles. When Endermen teleport, or when you throw a pearl, you leave behind purple smoke. Just like you accidentally bring an Endermite back with you, you are also dragging back the atmosphere. The purple smoke isn't just a visual effect, it is the air of the in-between. This makes it clear that Endermites are native to this environment. They emit those exact same purple particles constantly. But there is one other mob that utilizes these exact same particles. The Ender Dragon. When the dragon spews out its acid breath, the lingering cloud looks suspiciously similar to the teleportation particles. In fact, I don't think the purple stuff we see when we teleport is random fog. I think it is literally dragon breath. Although it's classified as fall damage in the code, the damage you take when using an ender pearl could be explained by this. You are briefly passing through a dimension filled with toxic, acidic dragon breath. I think there are hundreds of dragons in this in-between dimension, spraying their acid everywhere. And that is the atmosphere. This explains the environment. But what about the dragon's life cycle? This is where the dragon egg comes in. Think about what the dragon egg actually does. After you beat the dragon, this trophy appears. But if you try to mine it, if you try to touch it, it teleports. It's not just a static block, it has a programmed, almost instinctual defense mechanism. This mirrors how we and Endermen teleport using the in-between dimension. The egg isn't just blinking around, it is briefly phasing through the in-between to escape danger. Just how you can escape danger by smashing like and subscribe to get me to 50,000 subscribers. This is the Ender Dragon's entire life cycle. There are dragon eggs laid by dragons all over the in-between dimension. In that dimension, their natural habitat, these eggs hatch. And what comes out? The Endermite. The Endermite is the larva. It swims through the purple dragon breath, feeding and growing, until it eventually becomes one of the massive dragons ruling that plane. But the dragon egg we find in the end, it never hatches because it's in the wrong dimension. This theory even explains the Endermite's weird features. Look at the mob itself. Unlike other mobs, it has a tiny 2-minute lifespan before it just despawns. It has no drops, and you can't breed it. It exists solely to be spawned by pearls and hunted by Endermen. So, why would Mojang add a creature this pointless unless it was a placeholder for a bigger story? Its fleeting existence fits perfectly with the larval stage theory. Just like the dragon egg, it can only thrive in the in-between dimension. Just as butterflies come from caterpillars, the Ender Dragon comes from this mite. It just happens that when we teleport, we scoop up one of these tiny bugs in our radius. So, the next time you toss an ender pearl to cross a ravine, remember what you're actually doing. You aren't just taking a shortcut, you are reaching into a dimension filled with monsters, grabbing a baby dragon, and pulling it into a world where it can't survive, just so you don't have to build a bridge. Who's the real monster now? Thanks for watching! Oh, and please smash like and subscribe.